Welcome to your School District 6 Board of Education meeting. It's Monday, January 26th, 2015. This meeting will now come to order. Will you please join me in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have the roll call, Ms. Brea, please.
Mr. DeWitt?
Present.
Mr. Lee?
Present.
Mr. Hall?
Present.
Mr. Lydiak?
Present.
Dr. Richard? Present. Mr. Richardson?
Present.
Mrs. Solis?
Present.
Thank you. Next item is the Board of Education President announcements, and I have just one, but it's a spectacular one. Some of you may have heard of this place that I'm going to identify tonight, but this is the 100th, tonight is the 100th year celebration of Rocky Mountain National Park. And therefore, we're making a proclamation, President's proclamation this evening. Whereas the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 recognizes the importance of students experiencing the grandeur of Rocky Mountain National Park, and whereas Rocky Mountain National Park provides a learning experience for students from Weld County School District 6 to appreciate and interact with this truly unique outdoor setting. And whereas Rocky Mountain National Park has provided a profound outdoor education experience for our youth, and whereas over 3 generations of our students and their families have visited the park, and whereas our children are the new stewards of this park for future generations, and whereas January 26, 2015 is the 100th birthday of Rocky Mountain National Park, now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 proclaims January 26, 2015 as the year of celebration for the 100th birthday of Rocky Mountain National Park, to which I will sign. I say, happy birthday. The next item is a hearing of persons desiring to speak before the board. Ms. Brea, do we have anyone who's identified an interest in speaking?
I believe so. Mrs. Myers?
Excuse me, do we have a person willing to speak before the board at this time? Do you know of?
No.
Oh, you don't have any yellow cards?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
All right, that's a no. Thank you. Ms. Brea, work session report, please.
Board President Roger DeWitt began the work session with a review of the board calendar and upcoming events and board officer responsible revisions to the 2014-15 district budget. Board members had time to discuss budget priorities and ask questions. That concluded the work session.
Thank you. The next item is the approval of the agenda. This is an action item, and I will request a motion at this time.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, Ms. Brand.
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Haefele?
Aye.
Mr. Hall?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mr. Richardson?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
And the motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. The next item is the approval of the consent agenda. This is also an item that requires a motion.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approve items as presented on the consent agenda and authorize the officers to sign any and all contracts.
Second.
And can I find my next page? Thank you. The next item is the,
Roll call.
I'm sorry, excuse me. No, I have lost my page somewhere. Roll call vote, Ms. Brand.
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Haefele?
Aye.
Mr. Hall?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mr. Richardson?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
And the motion carries 7-0.
Thanks for keeping me on track. The next item is a special item, District Accountability Committee recommendation, Union Colony Charter Renewal. Dr. Stacy Dattery, District Accountability and District Accountability Committee Chairperson Kenneth Watts are at the podium.
Thank
Welcome.
you, President DeWitt, Interim
you.
Superintendent Eads, and members of the school board. Tonight, Mr. Ken Watts, Chairperson of the District Accountability Committee, will present the DAC recommendation for the Union Colony Elementary Charter School renewal application. Their recommendation comes pursuant to the responsibilities set forth by the state of Colorado, specifically in regard to the charge of, and I read, reviewing any charter school applications received by the local school board, and if the local school board receives a charter school renewal application, and upon request of the district and at the DAC's option, reviewing any renewal application prior to consideration by the local school board. As such, Mr. Watts will now share with you the pertinent information and the recommendation thereof. Thank you.
The District Accountability Committee met on January 20th with 16 voting members present. One topic of discussion and subsequent action was a recommendation on the Union Colony Elementary School renewal application. Mrs. Angela Keedy, principal of Union Colony Elementary School, came and presented information to the group and answered all questions before the vote. Following Mrs. Keedy's presentation, DAC discussed the following in regard to the proposal and recommendation. First was the contract renewal terms. DAC discussed how long the contracts are for other charter schools, such as Frontier and Westridge. They also questioned, and it was answered, that charter schools are held to the same performance accountability system from the state as other district schools. A concern was brought up about the length of the contract in regard to the request of a 15-year contract in the application. It was shared that Westridge Academy was granted a 5-year contract when it reapplied and was also at the same performance category as Union Colony Elementary. It was further shared that Frontier Academy is under a 30-year contract. As such, the recommendation made by all 16 DAC members present is to renew the contract for Union Colony Elementary Charter School. It is further the recommendation by 4 members to make the contract for 15 years requested, while 10 members voted to make the contract for 5 years only. 2 members abstained from the vote. Thank you for your time this evening and for allowing the District Accountability Committee the opportunity to share their recommendation.
Thank you very much. Are there comments or questions from the board? Thanks for the inordinate amount of time that you and your committee have put to this work.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate it. The next item is the resolution involving the Union Colony Charter Schools renewal. Executive Director of Student Support Services, Kathy Van Soest, will give us an update and perhaps introduce us to some other folks. This is an action item, so I will accept a motion at this time.
I move that the Board of Education of Wall County School District 6 adopt the resolution approving the renewal of Union Colony Schools, or I move that the Board of Education of Wall County School District 6 adopt the resolution denying the renewal of Union Colony Schools.
Well, we would do one.
Which one?
or the other.
Pick one.
Sorry.
Just pick one.
Select one.
First one. Renewal.
Okay. Are we good?
Second.
Second on that. All right, discussion, obviously. Comments from you first, Ms. Van Soest?
Certainly. The Union Colony Charter School representatives are here to present information about their school and answer your questions. Pat Gilliam, director, has been a leader of the charter school for 17 years, since its beginning in 1997. Prior to the inception of this in-district charter, Pat taught 10 years at Greeley Central. Chris Jevons, board president, has been a member of the charter school board for 7 years and board president for the last 4 years. And I would like to invite them up to talk to you and then answer your questions at this time.
Please, gentlemen, thank you very much for being here this evening.
I'll start. Thank you, Roger,
Welcome, Chris.
for
Thank
having
you.
us. And the first thing I'd like to do is let you all know how much we appreciate the efforts of Kathy and Wayne and all your staff in helping to facilitate this process. We've had an open dialogue, constructive. We appreciate very much their willingness to help us get through to the ultimate goal here. As you're aware, the school is applying for renewal of the elementary school charter. 2 weeks ago, this room was full of parents, students, teachers, school members. I was frankly moved by the testimony I heard. Some comments were a little off the base, but for the most part, as a director of the school, I was encouraged by the support that was evidence of the staff and the teaching and what's going on over there. So we're hopeful tonight that you'll allow us to continue that project as it moves on. One thing I'd like to address is the contract itself, which we have the opportunity, should you approve the resolution tonight, to navigate. The recommendation from the DAC, and I appreciate their efforts as well, is that we look at a 5-year term on the contract renewal, and I want to let you know of a couple issues that we have in that scenario. We've been around now 17, 18 years. You guys know us pretty well. The elementary school's been operating 3 years. You get reports quarterly with a lot of detail on how we're doing. You probably know as well, or before I do, on how well we're doing with all that stuff. So if the issue is keeping an eye on us, I believe you do that anyway. And I believe that our performance over 18 years as an organization shows our commitment to keeping that school running well, keeping our finances intact, et cetera. The biggest concern I have and the board has with a 5-year term is the financing requirements. We're facing a maturity of the bond that was floated to acquire the property and build the building down there. It matures next year, so we've got to refinance that. And 5 years makes it difficult. One of the things that I'm pursuing, Pat's helping, is looking at if we can combine both bonds into one, get a longer term maturity, get a cheaper payment. We all know how that works in the financial world. So just to make you aware, and I know we'll have an opportunity to discuss, we've already had conversations with Wayne, that we are looking for longer than 5 years if we can negotiate that. Again, I want to thank you for the opportunity. I'm available to answer questions. Pat has a few comments to make.
I just wanted to address the school as in a broad kind of sweep, and the fact that, you know, opening a new school, as you're becoming aware of with the middle school, is a very exciting and rewarding and difficult task, all at the same time. And as we opened our school, we brought on staff that were new staff. About 80% of our staff had taught for a year or two. And so they were not the veteran kind of staff that you would see moving in to perhaps a new opening in a district school type of thing. We worked very hard with that staff and continue to do that over the period of the last 3 years. We've invested about $250,000 in one form or another of training for them to get them up to speed. And I think we're starting to see the benefits of that training and of that consistency with them. Although our test scores are not at the level that we would like at this point in time, we have seen improvement over the past couple of years in our test scores, and they are trending up. Just a simple example is that 2 years ago we were on a priority improvement, but our overall score was a 37.5. A 37 would mean that we would be in turnaround. This year, our test score was a 46.1. A 47 would have meant that we would have stepped out of the priority improvement level. So within the category, we stretched just about as far as you could go from one end to the other without moving out of that category. And I think all of our scores that we see at this point in time, internally in WEA, our internal testing scores with direct instruction are showing us that our test scores are improving, they're moving forward, and tracking a cohort group of our students that started with us as kindergarten students and moving through is showing that those kids are moving ahead and are showing the improvement that we would expect from that group of kids. And you know that when you're in a school with as we are 68%, and a number of your schools are higher than that as far as at-risk students, there's a lot of transition, a lot of people moving in and out. And so I think the cohort group that we looked at is showing the kind of improvement that we would expect out of those kids. It is going to take time. dealing with the population that we have there. We are glad that we're in that part of town. It's opening up great opportunities for those kids, we believe, and we'll continue to do that. But the test scores are something we're working on, and I am very confident that they're improving and will continue. So that's all I have for an opening statement.
Thank you both very much. Mr. Hall, comments from the board.
Basically, I have just two questions, gentlemen. The bond that's expiring next year, what was its original term?
It was originally, it's kind of like a construction loan. It was a four-year deal, which matures next year, understanding that it was, would need to be refinanced once the school is up and running.
Okay. Then the other question, and it's really not a fair question, but I'll ask it anyway. You're doing a lot of internal testing, and I know you've got your eyes set on the goal of where you want to head out with the test scores and things. What are you forecasting in the next year that you believe you might be able to attain, just out of curiosity? Not holding you to anything. Yeah. I'm just asking.
Well, as I said, with the process that we're going through with staffing and training, and our goal is that within the third year of testing that we would be out of the priority improvement, and that within 5 years we would be at the state average. That's our goal. That's the goal we put into our original contract, our original application, was that in 5 years we would have that school at a point where we are at the state average, and then move on from there. So,
sounds like you're on track.
We hope so.
Mr. Lydia.
Are we still, is the resolution, the range, the negotiable?
We didn't actually enter that resolution in at this point, but as it originally, I don't know if this is the point at which we might want to read the entire resolution. Okay. Does someone have a copy of the resolution to read, or I can provide that at this time?
And I guess, and then the question is the president looking to define for us to weigh in on our length of time now?
Correct.
Or,
okay. Someone wants to read this at this time?
Do some reading?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I'll read this onto the record. This is a resolution conditionally approving the Union Colony Elementary School renewal application and combining the Union Colony Elementary and Union Colony Charter School contracts. Will this be made as a motion? Do we need to vote on John's motion first before this is entered in, or does this need to be?
I think this needs to be read into the record.
this is
As to what the motion is.
This is what the motion is for, so the resolution.
No, I'm just
I got you.
saying I can't hear it.
Okay, whereas in August 2011, the Board of Education of Will County School District 6 approved Union Colony Elementary School as a charter school under the Charter Schools Act, CRS 2230.5101, and entered into a charter school contract with UC Elementary on February 13th, 2012, and whereas UC Elementary is governed by the Union Colony Board, which also operates Union Colony Charter School's 6th through 12th grade program that the district originally approved under the Act in 1997. And whereas the UC Elementary Charter expires in June 2015, and the Union Colony Charter School Charter expires in June 2037. And whereas the Union Colony Board has applied on a timely basis to the district for a renewal of the UC Elementary Charter pursuant to the Act. And whereas in the renewal application, the Union Colony Charter Board on behalf of UC Elementary and Union Colony Charter School has asked the district to combine the UC Elementary and Union Colony Charter School charters under one contract with the intent of operating one K-12 program on terms and conditions acceptable to the district. And whereas the district board has held meetings in the district regarding the charter school renewal application, and whereas the district board has additionally considered board policy, the Charter Schools Act, information from members of the public, and the recommendations of the district's accountability committee and district staff. And whereas the Board of Education finds that conditional approval of the UC Elementary Charter renewal application and the unification of the UC Elementary and Union Colony Charter School charters, or Union Colony Charter School charters, under one charter contract is consistent with the best interest of the district, its students, and the community. Now therefore be it resolved that by the Board of Education of Will County School District 6 that the charter renewal application of UC Elementary is conditionally approved and the UC Elementary and Union Colony charters are combined, subject to the following terms and conditions as well as any others required by law. 1, that a new charter contract acceptable to Union Colony Board and the Board of Education and consistent with the applicable law and district practice be negotiated and signed by April 27, 2015, unless extended by mutual agreement of the Union Colony Board and the district. 2, the contract shall have a term of not less than 4 years or longer than 15 years, with the exact length of the term to be negotiated and included in the final contract. 3, in addition to other standard terms and conditions and for purposes of funding, the per-pupil revenue for all K through 6 students shall be calculated using the method in state law for charter schools formed after 2004. And the per-pupil revenue for all 7 through 12 students shall be calculated using the method in state law for charter schools formed before 2004.